Hello, everyone. So, after a long hiatus, my church has restarted having some regular pickleball meetups. And now we've maybe for like a month or maybe a little more, we've been meeting up once a week. And yeah, I've been going to most of them. Not able to play at all of them. Sometimes I have to take care of the family. But yeah, just getting back to playing pickleball has made me kind of think about some tennis things, and it made me want to make this video. So this video is just going to be about some tennis tactics and how I think they apply to pickleball. And just like I said in the last video, I still have not looked at any pickleball content, and I want to kind of keep it that way just to, I guess, keep my interest in pickleball a little higher, just so that I'm trying to learn things by myself than just kind of giving the answers of what people have already figured out. But yeah, so hopefully this will be helpful if you're trying to level up your pickleball game. I guess it's maybe more for beginners, but yeah, maybe you'll learn something about how I'm thinking about this game anyways. This is a fairly low effort video. I'm just doing this in one take, so bear with me if there are any hiccups in my speech or anything like that. But yeah, before I start, I want to start with some singles concepts in tennis. And I've come to realize that pickleball is usually played in doubles just because, I don't know, pickleball culture is more community focused maybe, or something like that. But I think a lot of these singles concepts will apply to how you play doubles. So yeah, first of all, I want to start with, let's say this is your opponent and they're about to hit the ball. I want to talk about, let's call it like their range of threats. So in general, what you want to do is think about where they could hit on the court. And in tennis, the biggest threats would be the corners of the court. Yes, technically you can drop it at the front of the net, or you could lob it or something like that. But in general, the biggest threats are just going to be hard shots to the corner. So this is what I think about when I'm thinking about where to stand. So in this case, if your opponent is receiving the ball in the middle of the court, then you want to stand in the middle, because you'll see it's just equal distance to where the ball could be. Now, what happens if your opponent is standing in the corner? Well, then they could hit here, cross court, or down the line. And again, yes, they can technically hit the shot like, short up the court, and that could be like a really hard shot. But I think in general in tennis, you just say, if they can hit that, then, you can have that point. That's an amazing shot. But unlikely that they can keep that up consistently, unless they're just an amazing player. So anyways, if they're receiving in the corner, you want to stand in the middle of the threats, right? So it's a little, because the ball will bounce and then you might have to receive it outside the court. It's a little off center, right? So somewhere about here, and you'll see this is about equal distance, right? So this is what I think about where to stand. Now, how do you think about where you should hit? So let's say you're receiving the ball in the corner. You can hit the ball. Let's use this color for this. You can hit it down the line or cross court. So what happens in tennis, you might notice that tennis players pretty much always or very often hit cross court. Why is that? Let's say your opponent receives this ball. It typically won't be all the way on this corner edge, so let's just say they receive it somewhere here. Then where will they be able to return it? They'll be able to hit it either cross court or down the line. And where should you stand? You should stand right here, right? So going from here to here is pretty comfortable, right? Now what happens if you hit the ball down the line? Then they will be able to hit down the line or cross court. And now you should stand somewhere here, right? But you'll notice this is much further to get to than if you were to hit cross court. So that's why you'll often see people hitting cross court, just because of this distance that you need to move to. Now, this is a little different in pickleball because I think it's pretty difficult to hit these fast shots. But once again, bear with me for a little moment. But yeah, this in general is how I'm thinking, what I'm thinking about when I'm thinking about where should I hit, what angle should I hit, and also where should I stand. So now let's talk about serve and volley. So in pickleball, a big principle is that being at the net is very strong. You want to attack the net, right? So the equivalent would be a tennis player who likes to serve and then come up to the net. So let's say you're receiving the ball in the corner and you want to approach the net. Should you hit it down the line or should you hit it cross court? So let's see. Again, this is where you can hit. And your goal is to stand somewhere up here. In tennis, there's no kitchen, but obviously we'll move to the behind the kitchen line when we start talking about pickleball. So let's say you hit cross court. Once again, your opponent can go cross court or down the line. So where should you stand? You should stand in the middle, but when you're at the net, reaction time becomes a factor. So you should cheat over even a little more to the side that your opponent's on. Because for this cross court, you have a little more time to react. So you just cover a little more towards the side that they're on. And you'll notice this distance you have to move is pretty far, right? So what happens if you hit down the line? So they receive it here. They can go down the line or cross court. Where should you stand? You should stand somewhere here in the middle, but more towards the down the line shot, again, because it's faster. And what do we notice? This distance is much shorter than when we had to go all the way up here, right? So in general, at least I was taught, if you want to approach the net, always hit down the line. Now, let's try to apply this to pickleball. So in pickleball, let's say you are the receiver, your opponents are serving. Let's say this guy in the corner is serving, then his teammate is probably going to stand back here to account for the one bounce rule. Let's say you're receiving it, so you'll probably stand somewhere here. And your teammate should, if they're playing properly, stand up at the net. So you receive the serve. Where should you hit it? Your goal should be to come up to the net, and you'll probably stand somewhere up here with your teammate. And you might think about, oh, I'm the stronger volleyer, or I want them to give me the opportunity to volley. So then you should hit down the line, right? Because then this opponent can hit like this, and you get to cover all of this space, and then your teammate only needs to cover this space. Or, on the other hand, oh, that does not work. All right, let's just redraw this. Let's say your teammate happens to not like volleying because they're new or whatever. Then they're standing whatever back here. Then if you want to be the aggressor and volley, then you'll probably cover over here. So you hit down the line, right? And then now what happens? They can go down the line or cross court. And now, so you've moved up to the net. You can cover all this space. and you have a very good chance to get a volley now. And your teammate only has to cover this area. Alright, I lied about the one take. There's obviously been a stop and restart record. Anyways, let's talk about some tactics now. So typically in tennis, but even in pickleball, this seems to happen a lot. You'll have one guy in the back and one guy in the front. And then on your side, you'll be mirroring this. So, well, whatever you call this, a diagonal mirror. So one guy in the front there and one guy in the back. And you'll just see rallies between these backcourt people. Why is that? Why does that happen a lot? Well, let me show you. So let's say they're serving to you, and you're in the back here. You have the threat to hit right here or right here. And this guy in the front, they have to sit pretty close to their side, right? Because again, this down the line shot is very threatening. It is very fast, so you need to be close enough to this side that you can react to it. So typically you'll see a lot of rallies just going back and forth to the cross courts. Now, every now and again, for whatever reason, it'll get jumbled up so that your backcourt is over here. And your teammate will be right here. So, let's see. Here we go. Let's go back to 40. So, when you receive a shot like this, you can hit either over here or over here, right? Now, again, because this shot is, or rather, this cross-court shot is not as threatening anymore. Normally, their teammate would stand right here, right? But instead, they can cheat over to the middle because they still have time to react to this cross-court shot. So, when you are in this setup, just know that if you're the volleyer or the one at the net, you can cheat over to the middle a little more. In tennis, one strategy to counteract this is that you would start lobbing the ball so that the volleyer cannot cheat over. But yes, this tactic is very strong in tennis. I imagine in pickleball what you'd want to do, because as I said, lobbing is pretty difficult in pickleball. You would probably just try to drop the ball in the kitchen right here. So, obviously, you can do this if you're the green team and you're receiving this shot and your team is receiving the shot, then you as a volleyer can cheat over and you can get more volleys and cover all this space. And your teammate only needs to cover this much. So that's pretty much it. I just wanted to, share how I'm thinking about where to stand, where to place my shots, and thinking about where my opponent can hit it. And I think me thinking about pickleball in this way is, I guess, the reason why I get a lot of oohs and ahs. A lot of times I'll get these like winning passing shots. But really what's happening is that my opponents just are not standing in the right place. And actually, I should share one more tactic that I just thought of. So a lot of times I will receive a shot that is a little too close to the net. Let's say it's like up here. And normally I would only be able to hit the ball here and here, right? And there's this advantage that I'm close to the net, so these shots are much faster. But now I'm close to the net, so a new shot has opened up. I can drop the ball right here. And I think this is why dropping is so scary in tennis. And Alcaraz is really good at it, but if they're able to return the drop, then they have all this range of threats that they can hit now. So a lot of times what happens is, especially with new guys who are trying out pickleball, we'll be playing doubles, and a lot of times they'll stand in just like the middle of their half, and then let's say I get this shot that's like a little too close to the net, not tall enough, not high enough for me to volley it and just like smash it away, but just close, and I need to kind of control the power on it. Then my threats, right, are right here or right here. So if they're standing all the way back here, then yeah, I'm just gonna go for this shot, and they have to run all the way up here, right? So this would look like a pretty crazy shot, and I've gotten a few oohs because of it. But really, this guy should just be standing up here behind the kitchen. Then they can get this shot. They can still receive this cross-court shot. If I guess you could say I could try to lob it over him, but again, lobs in pickleball are difficult, and even then, his teammate could come over and get it too, and then he just has to switch over to this side. But anyways, this is my point. Think about what angles are you able to hit. What's the situation that you're in? Are you close up? Are you far? And yeah, I think that will open up this new perspective on where you should place your ball and how to get yourself more volleys in pickleball. So yeah, I guess hope that helped, and I'll see you in the next video.